again? Hang on, hang on. I am clicking. John, can I just say something? Setting a clock both times you booted up the game. Doesn't take that stuff seriously. The clock's set at 12 and call it a day. That's the clock, and I appreciate that. I know you're seriously paying attention. I don't even know what I'm doing are correct. Tell you what, make you a deal. And you cooperate and boot the game to the screen. Just set the clock to your favorite time. Because every time you won, not correct, you've earned it. And out of the video game. Now, God! Screw you. Just screw you. I didn't even get the welcome back achievement yet. God damn it. End is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building. It won't let me
skip. It's been weird. It's being weird again. Really wish it would quit being weird. Yeah, why is the clicking not working? Because it's supposed to let me skip, but it wouldn't let me, and now I can't. Reduce motion on. Auto walk is an option, but I'm not using that. Field of view I turned up because I believe that's how you do it. Normally camera sensitivity as is. Hopefully that helps.
Where he was employee number 427.
So how do I skip this section?
Employee number 427's job was simple.
Because I've definitely done this before, and I don't really feel like seeing this again, but what do you know?
Buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk,
Twitch, what the heck is
telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
Yeah, I've seen this before.
This is what employee 427 did every...
Settings, controls. Interact is E, and interact additional is control. Ah.
Day.
It was remapped to control. I forgot I even did that. Welcome back. Okay, there we go.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I hope that I can do the new content. That's what I got to do.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign.
Because this is where I left
have something very exciting to show you.
All right. As maybe recall from last time, I had a bit of an issue with this game. So I've taken some precautions. I've set all the settings. I have a fan going. I take breaks every hour, but by every hour, I mean I can only play for about 2 hours, then I can call it a day. And I got water. And yet, with all that... Well, let me jump.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley.
Yeah, I'm disappointed, or not disappointed. I'm sad that I didn't quit last time when I thought I should have, because since I've now done half of this, I have to hear half the dialogue over again.
One step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
For the second time ever, because I did this already.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up, Why are there so
Yay.
many possibilities? It could go in so many different directions. This is what
Still can't
fans have
jump.
truly been asking for. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything signed. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Stanley Parable 2 Reassurance Bucket. This is what I'm here for. Cool. Everything is set. Making sure I'm signed up.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem of the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true.
Sure.
As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be?
Oh,
yes,
no.
the bucket is the
Don't talk to me
solution.
before I've
Come
had
on,
sequel.
give it a try.
Had my sequel. Okay, that makes more sense.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air
Why
of
was it
charisma as
laughing
well?
and who was it laughing?
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
This
The
is my
benefits of
second
the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Yay, I has bucket.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
No.
That really should be an award. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons.
that.
But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Okay, yep, so they
Happy
just do the
12th
opposite of the
birthday,
one you pick.
Step-niece it is.
Nice. Okay, I was wondering if it was always white or if no matter which one you chose, it was the opposite.
actually,
Okay, that's
Maybe
fine.
I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Alright, this is, I think, where I left off. Timeline, infinity, distant future, whole like infinity, space like infinity, distant past, distant space-time, distant space-time. Time deeper. Opening rim, depth infinite, surrounding area. Entrance infinity. Infinite hole chart, infinity, following educational use only. How deep can we dig? The answer will mildly surprise you. The holy moly. Can I not go that way? No, I can't go that way.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Cool. Okay, bye.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Which clearly means don't press the button.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later
It's
spectrum
not
of
actually infinite, is
things.
it?
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite.
We're gonna squish, aren't we? We're gonna get
Is it
squished.
a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep.
Squish time!
I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley.
I'm not dead.
I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated.
No,
by
I'm usually
falling.
fascinated by funny
A
dialogue.
normal person actually wants
From
to...
manager to everyone BCC me.
I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe
two
you're
of us,
the
you're gonna
problem.
charge us, two of us, but guys, there's two of us, you and I.
Look, things got a little heated there.
Every
I think
pause
we
button
both
is a
said
Roman
some things
numeral
we
2.
didn't
Goddamn
mean.
right, ain't that
Why
true?
don't we just put
And
all
a
this
bunch of
behind
cigarettes.
us and agree to just call the whole
New mug.
mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Wait the usual 15 seconds if there's any more dialogue, and then move on. Excuse me.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole
Yes,
seem
it did,
even
'cause you
shorter
decided
for you
not to
this
show all
time?
of it.
I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole. I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Yeah, that's definitely a smaller or a bigger hole surface dot this time.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity.
If I could jump, this wouldn't be a problem. Just saying. You know, I think part of my problem with this game is that I keep pacing endlessly, which is probably not helping my motion sickness. If I would just stand the fuck still, it might help. Are there actually multiple endings in this section? I guess it's entirely possible. The game like this would be so much better. I have to. Okay, we're good. There.
My head's stronger. Now you're no longer using up the space of mine. My head's stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best one.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. I don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the
having
hole?
fun.
From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Did the game reset? No, just Stanley Parable 2 reset. Okay.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
The button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Of course. Just the number. consistent quality, just the right amount of change. The baby is all grown up. Bankruptcy. Can't press it. Oh well. Investor Showcase, the magazine, the year's hottest investment opportunities. Sequels was better than that. Nothing. Top 10 investors currently visiting the show floor. Hear your name in the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Still can't jump. That's all I really want. Or the perfect button, too big, too small, just right. Try it here. Name, here yours today. Everyone's got one. Alright, let's press the button. Wait, no, hang on. These now there's the same thing.
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified.
Yeah.
Right now,
Why
the
am I not
button
surprised?
only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to
My
imagine
name
yourself living as
is
Jim.
Galactic Bear.
Sleep.
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the
Fine, I
impact
guess
of
I
this
can
button.
roleplay
Otherwise,
as
it's just a
fucking Jim.
stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as
Wait a
Jim.
minute, am I Jim
playing
Jordan? I
frisbee
can't be
on
Jim
the
Jordan.
weekend. All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Jim.
See, if you'd only played along, that would have been your name the button says, but no. Instead, oh, I can't even think about it. I'm taking the Jim button away.
Jim. 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 Jim.
No, my Jim button. You suck. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go back in the hole. Need to go find the puppies.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable
Well,
2.
Jesse,
They
back door?
would appreciate
Apple
what
lock.
I've
Nope, we're not
created
doing that
here.
yet. I need to jump in the hole again. It's very important to me.
Calling it the Stanley Parable
X.
2
Apple lock
is
and
just so
exit.
much
Interesting.
catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you
Why is
think?
there an Apple lock and an
Ultra
exit?
Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams
Mostly infinite
progress
hole,
and
fine.
innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Well, it's here. Oh. Okay, let's go on an adventure to the infinite hole. I can't go back in the infinite hole. They closed the door on me. Bastards. Wanted to see the puppies again. Or check if they maybe had kittens this time. New achievement? I like achievement. Pull lever, receive new achievement, no more steps, it just works.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken.
Love
I'm
that.
not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Okay, you suck.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
New content in the jump circle.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just
wonder
be
what
a
happens
nice
if you still have
decorative
jumps
piece,
left.
then.
Collectibles. Can you find them? Can you find them? Can you find them?
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting
That's
all of
literally
them.
every
I
collectible
don't
video
want to
game
stifle
ever.
the intrinsic joy of watching a number go
How
up.
many
You
collectathons
simply
are
collect
there
all
with
of
no
them,
reward?
And then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
I hate you.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
New features, new content, new game. Welcome to 2. Can't gone this way yet. That's the exit. Never mind, not going that way yet. I assume epilogue is after exit. Okay, so 5 is the map. N is the jump circle. Done. Did the free achievement. The button that says the name of the player that's playing the game. Done. The settings world champion. Haven't done that yet. I've got the reassurance bucket. I've done the office decorations. I haven't done the epilogue. I've done collectibles and infinite hole. So I need to do the settings and the epilogue. And then the exit. So I assume the settings are right about this way. No, that's the office decoration, mostly infinite hole. That's the reassurance. There's the merch. I can't steal any merch. This way is probably this is the button. Okay, hang on, check the map again. 'Cause I definitely. Okay, so the map is here. A9 is collectibles. And E is for exit. And epilogue is... In theory, it's on the other side of this. Whereas settings world champion should be that away. Exclusive, the button that says Jim. That's Jim. You heard Jim in the game. Taste the sequel. Yeah, this is epilogue.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Here we go, settings world champion. And then that's free achievement. Well, that's rude. guess that's all I can do, because Settings World Champion is broken. I guess I gotta exit. Sad.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to?
No.
Ready to move on now?
No.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
No.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it.
But it's not
No
a
matter
sequel,
how
it's a
good
brand
these
new
gags
game.
are, they wouldn't stand on
By
their
the different
own.
narrator.
They
That's
would
completely
need the
different.
structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Something. It's a weird ominous red glow.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Hey look, balloons.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket.
No more extra content.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest, and this was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Find
And
the
here
closet.
it was. Had the bucket turned
I
out
will
to be
find the
correct?
closet.
Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Okay. I will find the closet, but this time I have the bucket.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now.
Is this everything you hope for?
This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk that it has to resort to this stream of
Yep, they
petty
changed
insults
all the dialogue
simply in
in
order
the
to
game
get you
with
to
the
hand
bucket.
over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in
And
an
yes, that
even
means every single
partially
ending in the game
enticing
requires
manner?
you to beat it
Well,
with
I'd
buckets.
never. Go on,
If you
Stanley.
want every single
Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand
I'll
on
do
the
it the
wide
only way I know
variety of
how.
experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Teabag the broom closet.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled.
Excellent.
No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Yeah, I need to take my hand off the mouse, I think, and quit looking around. That's probably not helping my issues.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see? I feel that it works because the sticker is also a
True
bucket.
dat.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There really is a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
No, there's not. You can put it on a thing and it's a bucket. Put it in the broom
You know
closet
what?
because the broom
I
closet
could
has a
take
bucket.
the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you
Wuss.
outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Wuss. There. Oh, that's it? Okay. No more. Oh well.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley
Yay!
figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
Fuck you.
You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
I found it. I get the feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lovely purse.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for this. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
Or that I
Was
remembered
the
from
bucket
last stream
guiding
somehow.
Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I'm debating which ending I'm going to go for first with the bucket. Probably the normal ending. Let's just see how that changes. And then I'll go do a bunch of the weird ones.
The elevator raced downward.
plummeting towards an unknown
Like, I'm not gonna go
fate.
back up in the elevator.
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
The one direction I have not actually gone yet, with or without the bucket. Probably get that to that today. We'll see.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Stanley and the bucket both wonder.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
I thought that's the reassurance bucket. Why am I reassuring it? Inconsistency. Oh, right.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
Like, be nice to
What
Stanley.
kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this
True
point,
that.
he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Can't trust the narrator, we know that for sure.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening?
Okay, that's not right.
Why had
That's
the door
different.
stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room.
It would be
lingering
sad if you'd
uncertainty,
shut up.
until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths.
If you say you're like, no, 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 bucket, I love you.
Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
The end. Balloons!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the
Figurine
meeting
Finders
room.
Committee
Perhaps
meeting
he had
today in the
simply
meeting
missed a
room.
memo.
Well, there's pointless figurines to collect now, so I gotta find all the pointless figurines.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I'm not gonna do every single bucket ending, I think. I probably should have grabbed the bucket for this one, given what I'm planning on doing. How can we find them? Maybe we are the collectible. Man, pick up sound, microphone. Triangle starts trying noise. Like a heck of a dark area behind a warm place. A version of personal and service. Anyone leave this? Wouldn't you like to know? Source of levitation. I spotted one with their phone in the air. Who took pictures of them? Great question. Employee 421, building a bridge. What we know, what we forgot, what we don't yet know. Bonus stuff. Hard to find. Flower closed by employee 16. We can do it. Red room. Thank you. Good luck. Now the officer are running back into findings. Grand furnace during the blah blah blah. Artist rendering our success. There will be a reward for finding them all. Thank you so much. I want to go home. Stop kidding yourselves. There will be quitting as well required. Who are you? GGG. Low. Or 666 low. Lies. Inside of the sequel exhibit, a large room, lots of boxes, stairs, something to do with stairs. Somewhere red and blue, nearby a fireplace, and a private but smelly place for an important person. 5 there be, just take it from me. 927, ha ha ha. No, 427. Some kind of game, there must be a point to this. Okay, cool. I have my hints. I can almost guarantee one of them is downstairs.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Another miniature Stanley figurine.
Yay!
This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanley?
You should have stopped at
Yes,
mini stands.
I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
That sounds horrible.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had...
Okay. This will take a long time to go through.
All of
that
his
I've seen
co-workers
before.
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Alright.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And
there
here
a
it
statue
was.
in here?
Had the bucket turned out to be
Probably not.
correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the
GG.
bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Truly touching.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the
I
bucket.
love how the stickers are on it still.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Don't
But Stanley
care.
had felt
Didn't
the
ask.
bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Are there figurines?
Now pick up the phone.
Said
Now?
the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
I don't know, I can't read what it says. No figurines. Open fridge door. She took me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man plus Q for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is this
Deal with
awful
it.
bucket. This stupid hunk of
I never trusted you anyway, stupid narrator. Where's the bucket? Where the hell is the bucket? Press F to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
True that. Believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley?
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press Q to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Because that way when you're replaced by it, you don't feel as bad. Oh god, no work to home, no work to home. Oh god.
I'm having feelings. For the bucket. No, 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 no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
You can't have the bucket. Haha, I'm into the corner. Now I'm stuck.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll...
The end. Go back to work, Stanley. And we were murdered.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms, Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
No,
was this
I
better
need a
than the
break.
meeting room?
I will be back. It's been about an hour. That's about how long I figured I'd be. Back in like probably 5 minutes. someday I may perhaps understand why some games do stuff to me and others don't. At least I can still play most games.
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Yeah.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
What is this?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it. Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
The bucket. It's about the bucket, isn't it?
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does?
Nope.
Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you.
My guess is it fixes
Go
the
ahead now,
bucket.
Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your
It'll
bucket.
eat you.
Destroying buckets is all it knows.
I thought it was a
That is
well-fleshed-out
its singular
character.
Personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for.
I mean, I hear people talk about the bucket. I've never heard them talk about Bucket
The
Destroyer.
Bucket
Just sorry.
Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now. The fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oops. And everyone died. Best ending. Everyone
Bucket
died.
Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you.
Destroy buckets.
All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Someone's just salty that the bucket's not the narrator. I don't know where I was going with that. Well, everyone died.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Fat chance. Nah. Like I said, I want to go for... I'm trying to find the collectible figurines just for the lulz, but I'm not going to go for every single
When
achievement.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
I'm just landing mostly just on the principle of, do I really want to see every single piece of thing, given the whole stomach thing? And we're red and blue nearby a fireplace. Lots of boxes. So if it's someplace that I've looked already, it's like, I don't
to
really
a
want
staircase,
to.
Stanley walked
Not now.
upstairs to his boss's office.
Not when I am struggling.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
No.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness
them
that you
both.
get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Actually, now that I think about it, there is one more ending that I haven't done yet that I could do, that has more content that I could do in Bucket. The elevator up and down multiple times ending. I'll do that one next
Stanley
time,
walked
probably.
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, also Mind Control Facility. Might have something in that room.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Walking backwards now.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
I hate when that happens.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
So that coming.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What
Correct.
exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Nature paintings. Sneaky, sneaky behind the wall. But in the right quarter has been moved off to make sure the player reaches 2 doors in a good time. Set of 2 open doors. First are concrete pieces to impact design. Once the room is created, that's the game and merge second attention to it as an exploration of the contracts in the room poised. Yeah, that makes sense. Computer. Blueprint shows the office beginning of the game. The past and time office and blue doors, first part of the game was built, talking about and altered throughout development. The core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Office computers. Credits written by people. Kevin Brighting as the narrator. Boss's office. Scenes from development of Boss's office. Office clock. The lounge. Early version of the underground. Narration outtakes. Recorded dialogue video games 3 times for 2 years.
To the power source at the
Please
top
really
of
test
the
they're not using the
facility
game.
to end this injustice forever.
Freedom. First incarnation of the Freedom ending in the game's alpha. Early version of the countdown ending. Up or down, freedom above and countdown below. Balance from do call numbers up, 1 down. Place 2 endings together instead. Early version of the countdown realm. And called Zending, cut and merge another part of the game. Fourth version ending, kind of complete, had to abandon change it shortly before launch. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended with players on the escape menu. Players realized what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Yep. Meeting room. Vent into maintenance. To confusion ending. Flow of always. Following the first 2 doors is important to get rides, and players would repel them so many times. Discuss the number of designs, also the simplest version that won out. Yeah, that makes sense. The apartment timer. Previous versions of the choice leading to apartment ending. A timer gave you throughout the phone. Knocking on the phone leads to a different ending. Cargo left is the choice of staying or joining a different path. Deciding one option of player falling to their death. Second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game. One place where cargo is actually stored. Genuinely hope I find the end of this soon. And doing a lounge, early version of the lounge. So we sent out and asked people to email and for questions. There's so funny if it's first return or file prices for them. Your selection of these emails. How do you stay in shape? Well, help me make any friends. Are you gay? I can see why they had a hard time using them. Left to right, the evolution of the office, November 2011, March 2012, February 2013.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Excuse me.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't...
Yeah, I think I'm done for the day. I'm not sure how much I have left to do is the problem. After that ending, I don't know what's left. I might look it up and then come back. Next stream, or next week will definitely be the last stream of Stanley Parable. I don't have the stomach to keep going much longer. Like, just starting out stream today, I was like, ugh. Just remembering how I felt last time just made me feel sick, and I haven't even started the game yet. So next week, I think, has to be the last week. I'm not going to go for 100% achievements, none of that. Going to look for the last few endings I haven't gotten yet and call it a day. Normally I'd raid now, but I need to get off the computer. So I'm just going to call it. Sorry for everyone. Just, yeah. Thank you everybody for joining. It's always a pleasure. I'll see you another time. Later.